You can go on it.
Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. We are covering the Royal Rumble 88, the very first Royal Rumble. Before we get into that, here's Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm fantastic.
You noticed the shirt this week?
I do. It's ravishing Rick Rude.
That's right.
He's really talented. I forgot how good he was. And watching all these old pay-per-views just really made me like, oh, how good he actually was.
Yeah,
You
he was,
know?
and yeah, it's gonna be fun because I haven't seen a lot of his WCW pay-per-view matches, so it'll be fun to watch those when we get to them.
hmm hmm
Uh, First though, I want to go on a little rant about AEW.
Really? About how good it is?
It's the best show that ever was. So fucking, this comes out Friday. This comes out. This episode of Diamond's already gonna air, so all this is gonna be moved. But it's not so much about like the match as it is about the fans. All right, this is the thing I gotta say, and I'll see if you agree with me. So they announced that Kenny Omega is fighting. What's the guy's name? Vico Badigo. What's his name?
El Hijo del Kingo, which is the son of the Viking.
Okay, great, good for him. So that guy, all right, he's gonna fight that guy. And people were like, who is that? People were like, who is this guy? Because he's never been mentioned on AEW before. He's never wrestled on AEW. He's never wrestled an Impact. He's never
Yeah,
wrestled.
he has wrestled on Impact multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, he has. I think you and I have actually seen it. I think.
Well, it wasn't
I
very good.
swear, I swear he's been on Impact. Yeah.
I wasn't very good. Was he dressed like Black Taurus?
No, but he's wearing like a like a Viking kind of suit, but that has like sleeves.
I mean, I see the
Very
picture. I don't
small.
remember him.
Do you
He might have
do you
been on
remember?
Impact after we stopped reviewing it.
Oh, do you remember when Impact? There was a couple episodes where they were like it had matches that they filmed in Mexico.
Dude, I wasn't watching that.
Oh, you weren't watching that. I
No.
thought we because I thought that was the time when we were reviewing Impact. But okay, maybe not.
No, remember we started in the pandemic.
Okay.
We did the pandemic era where no one was there, as opposed to the other eras where no one was there. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't see that. So okay, but even still, like he hasn't been on Dynamite, so people were like, "Who's that?" And Tony Khan and a lot of Tony Khan's this thing like everyone who's asking who's that is a bot, and it's disingenuous and they're haters and da da da. This whole big thing that you're a piece of shit to even ask who this guy was. And then the fans all weekend have been being like, you should just Google. They don't have to tell you who everybody is on the show. They should go. Let me just tell you something, Andrew Lee. The worst thing about AEW is the fucking fan base. And I'm not talking
Yes.
about like the casual fans. I'm talking about these people who never leave Twitter, who sit on Twitter all fucking day, and they defend AEW like they have money invested in it. And they get fucking vicious. And anything Tony Khan does, they try to justify it. And they really they like the fans more even than Tony, or why I hate Tony Khan so much. Because it's like if you're mad at someone for wondering who this guy is, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Because how the fuck am I supposed to know every wrestler on the fucking planet? I don't give a shit how good this guy is. All right. I
I know
don't
who
care.
every wrestler is.
What?
I know who every wrestler is. I'm just
I
joking.
I
I'm
don't.
just joking.
I know who I know who every wrestler is in the 80s and shit. But fucking like, bro, like I'm not, and people keep on Google. I'm not Googling this guy. I'm not looking him up. And you know what? I'm not going to watch this show. I'm not watching Dynamite now. Not because of anything Kenny Omega or this guy did, because of the fans. These fans are going to hold back AEW from becoming the next WCW or WWE. You cater to these, Tony Khan caters to these people with his tweets and with his booking and the way he addresses people with criticism. He caters to these fucking losers who never leave
I
Twitter.
definitely think he does cater to them, and I think you know what act I like a lot in AEW right now is the Outcasts, right? Those the three girls from Soraya, Tony
Yeah.
Storm,
Oh, they all hate them, by the way. The fucking
yeah, I
eternal
know, but
Twitterers.
I think that heel stable. Remember, you're not supposed to like them. They're the bad guys. They cut a promo on last week's Dynamite where they're like, calling them fat and calling them twats and saying how like their neck beards and supposedly they were asked to like tone down the body shaming. And I'm like, stop catering to these fans. Like
Yeah.
like like they're supposed to be hated. Like they're supposed to be hated. Let them fucking that's this is like yeah, this is Tony Khan thing. He just caters. Dude, he caters to his wrestler. He
Yeah,
gets some
but that's
hotel rooms. Like, stop doing all the catering. Just stop all that catering
but I would
for
rather you
everybody.
cater towards the wrestlers than these people. What I mean, it's just look, if you want to book this guy, that's fine. Personally, I think if they don't advance the MJF 4 pillar storyline, but this guy gets 30 minutes, that's a waste of your fucking time. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You want to book this guy, that's fine. Why can't you just send out another tweet if you're unfamiliar with him? I know he hasn't been on Dynamite before. This is the background. You're gonna love the match. Instead of yelling at everyone who was like, I don't know who this is, instead of yelling at all those fucking fans, you just turn people off. Here's the deal. You don't have to cater to the hardcore fans. And I'll tell you why. These fuckers who are going to sit on Twitter all day and defend you, they're going to watch no matter what. They watch WWE no matter what for 20 years. They'll watch this show no matter what. It's going to take a long time to chase them away.
Yeah.
And chances are you won't. Because the moment they feel like that, the moment you think you're about to chase them away, you can just book something like this again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The hardcore fans, there's a reason why they're called hardcore, right? They're not gonna leave. You can book Nyla Rose to beat MJF for the AEW World Title in a squash match, and they will not leave.
Oh, there'll be people defending it that this is beautiful.
Yeah, they'll be defending. They're gonna stay. You can just don't stop catering to them. Just stop.
They're always gonna. Yeah, they're gonna. But here's the other thing about these fans, and I think we talked about this in the past. I think on the other podcast. I think a lot of these fans they grew up without WCW, or WCW was a myth, like this thing.
I agree. Yeah. When did WCW folded in 2001? 2001. That's a long time ago. That's over 20 years ago. 100% a lot of these new fans never grew up with WCW.
And I think the only thing they see from WCW is the WWE revisionist history, where they're going on that it's a war and people took sides. The reality is everyone that could watched both shows. I watched all 3 shows and I enjoyed them all equally. WCW sucked a lot of times, but I still watched. Like, we were fans. There was no war with the fans. Nobody was like, fuck WWF, or I'm gonna watch WCW. Nobody did that. We just watched everything if we could. If we could, we watched everything. And we were all sad when WCW went under. I think they think that teenagers back in the day were like fighting in the schoolyard about Nitro versus Raw. I think because the WWE kind of painted that in their dopey documentaries. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That
they did paint it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't the case. And that wasn't the case. And they're so fucking tribal. They're worse than ECW fans were back in the day. They really are. They're like they act like if AEW does something wrong, like they're gonna like lose everything in life or something. Like, calm the fuck down, bro.
Yeah.
Tony Khan should introduce wrestlers. Like, why not? Why not film some vignettes when you're gonna debut someone new? What is the harm in that?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely, man. It's there's no harm in it. You know what? Just stop. Yeah. Just I don't even know. Like, there's no point.
Well, but I mean, like, there's people on Twitter still going on. Like, you should just Google it. He doesn't need to introduce anyone. You should know who these people are. And it's like, no, I don't have to know who anyone is. I'm Mexican. I don't need to know who anyone at AAA is. Also, it's hard to watch that fucking show. What?
Yeah. I don't even know what? Like, it's very easy to ignore these people too.
No, I know. I need to get off Twitter.
It's very easy to ignore these people. Like, they will never get in your face. You have to actively go to where they are to hear this shit. So just don't go to where they are.
Well, I really want to delete Twitter, but like, the Laps fan guys are mainly using Twitter.
You don't have to delete Twitter, but you can like.
I gotta like. You know what
Any
Twitter does
yeah.
now? So
What?
Twitter used to show you like if one of your mutuals liked a tweet from a follower that you're not following, they would show you that tweet. Now, even if you're not following the person and no one that you follow liked their tweets, they'll sometimes just show you like some random guy on Twitter because they think
Oh,
that you might like this fuck. And it's like, no, dude, the whole reason why you follow people is so you don't have to see this other bullshit.
yeah.
You know? I guess they think like, well, you look for AEW and WWE on Twitter, you're gonna want to hear this dummy's fucking opinion. Dude, I told the guy, dude, I told this guy off yesterday. I told him that I can't wait for him to. He said like, "Oh, you have a little stupid tattoo. Shut up." And I said, "You know what?" He was a big fat guy. You know what, dude? I can't wait for you to die of a stroke so I can get a fucking tattoo of your gravestone. You fat piece of shit. And I'm like, why am I saying that to these guys?
Dude, why'd you say that about my brother, bro?
Sorry,
Just,
bro.
let's get
Don't
into
have a
this Royal
stroke.
Rumble.
Let's go back in the day, the '88 Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So this is the very first Royal Rumble. This took place on January 24th, 1988. Now, Ray, this was not a real pay-per-view, correct?
No, this was a TV special, but we're
This was
covering
a
anyway
TV
because every other Royal
special
Rumble.
on USA Network for free, right?
Yes.
Oh, if you have cable, that is, right?
Yeah.
So technically, this is not a pay-per-view, and some parts of it actually do not feel like a pay-per-view because it's not.
It feels again. This is the second event we watched where it felt like the prototype for the 3-hour Raw.
Yeah, and you're right, absolutely. And it feels like a really long television episode. And just to give you some background on this, Royal Rumble, January 24th, 1988. Now, this is just, what do you call it? This is taking place the same day as
Bunkhouse there.
NWA's Bunkhouse Brawl that's taking place on Long Island. But Bunkhouse Stampede is taking place in Long Island. Royal Rumble is happening on the same day at Canada, Ontario, Canada. They drew 18,000 people in attendance, while the Bunkhouse drew 6,000. So they more than doubled. Actually, they tripled.
Mm-hmm.
They tripled what the Bunkhouse did in attendance. Mm-hmm. And just to give you kind of show you where that is, 18,000. Survivor Series, which took place in November, so that's a few months before, they drew 21,000 for their first Survivor Series. So they're still in the ballpark of what they were getting for a regular pay-per-view, right? 21,000, this is 18,000, it's pretty much in the same ballpark. So that's the background you need to know as far as numbers go. Vince McMahon, he introduces the Royal Rumble and he runs down the card, and it's going to be Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura on commentary. No Gorilla Monsoon. What happened?
I don't know. I think because Jesse and Vince would do Sunday's Main Event, maybe he felt like this was a Sunday's Main Event style show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no Gorilla Monsoon.
I mean, I think, dude, I would have been happy if Vince and Jesse were still commentators today. Like, I think they're a really good team.
Do you like them better than Jesse and Gorilla?
I don't, but I think that Jesse is Vince's best partner.
Maybe. I was listening to this and I was like, well, it's not like atrocious. I way prefer Gorilla and Jesse Ventura more.
Well, yeah, I prefer Gorilla too, but like Vince becomes unlistenable when Jerry Lawler is his partner.
Oh, there were times in this where I thought Vince McMahon sounded like an idiot.
Well, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, and we'll go into it. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, bro. All right, continue what you're gonna say, Andrew.
Yeah, Howard Finkel introduces. He's the announcer. He introduced the first match. It is Ravishing Rick Rude versus Ricky Steamboat. And it's like an opening match. I couldn't believe this is the opening match. I was like, what a fucking opening match, right? Do you remember just a few years ago, the first Starrcade, like the amount of like slobs in the opening match compared to this? This is ridiculous. This is the opening match. There is a fan in the front row. I don't know if you noticed. She had a megaphone, and she's so fucking annoying in this match. She's constantly on the megaphone. She even goes, Rudy, Rudy. She starts a Rudy
Yeah.
chant,
Do
I
you
think.
think they threw her out when the match was over? We don't.
No, they didn't throw her out because I saw her still there, but I know they took away her microphone because you don't hear her microphone again. But you see her sitting still there. It's the lady with the shitty, stupid hat on, and she's got a megaphone. She's so Jesse Ventura does point it out, like, it looks like just one of the fans got one of those Jimmy Hart megaphones. But yeah, I was like, I
You
could
could, I
tell.
bet you Vince was
I
like
was furious.
ready to have this woman murdered.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, this is a pretty good opening match. What's good about this opening match is that they start off very slow, and all of a sudden near the end, it's just like cover, reverse, cover, reverse, cover, reverse. It's fast paced, and it builds. It just builds the energy, and I'm like, holy shit, nobody does this anymore. Everyone just goes move, move, move right away. Like, like all the big shit right away. This was like slow, it builds up. Ricky Steamboat is so good at selling. Like there's a point where they lock up and then he call up and Ricky Rick Rude accuses Ricky Steamboat of pulling his tights and the ref like admonishes Steamboat and the look on Steamboat's face like, dude, I didn't pull his tights. Like it's just perfect. Anyways, what ends up happening is Ricky Steamboat goes for a crossbody, but Rude pulls the referee in his way. So Steamboat actually crossbodies the referee, the ref bomb. Rick Rude puts Steamboat in a body vice and he goes limp. The ref calls for the bell. Rick Rude thinks he won and he starts running, going to the back. When the referee says, actually, Steamboat won by disqualification. What did you think of this match, Ray?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great opener. It really shows you what Rick Rude was capable of. We already know what Ricky Steamboat was capable of, but what a great start and what a great match to give away on free TV. I mean, I don't think they had matches like this on primetime wrestling or superstars back then. The one thing though, man, I was watching with a friend and I said Rick Rude's dead, and he was like, it doesn't surprise me. Those muscles look like they're about to burst. I mean, you can really tell. You can really tell next that Rick Rude was on every steroid he could get his hands on back then.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, if you know how like I think last episode you were talking about like starting a promotion, I would start a promotion with these two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 100%. I'll be like, Steamboat, you're gonna be my top babyface. Rude, you're gonna be my top heel.
I mean, they essentially were when we get to like 92, 93 WCW, that's what essentially they are. So
yeah, I want to be like, man, I wonder if Steamboat knows how good he actually was. Because he just never got the accolades as much as like his peers did, but he's really fucking
good. He kept going away. I mean, he goes away, dude. His last match, we're gonna watch his last WWF match next time at WrestleMania 4. He goes away after that. He goes away like 2 months after losing to Ric Flair in WCW. He goes away from the WWF after only a few months in 1991. And then he retires in 1994 because of an injury. It's like he keeps going away, you know. By the time he like had an extended run in WCW, I think people were like, we can't make him the top guy because what if this guy just goes away?
Yeah, that's probably true. I think it's just really too bad because he is fantastic. Too bad.
He should have been a longer term WCW champion.
Yes, I agree. All right, we're gonna go. So after the match, we have Mean Gene Okerlund. They're in some, I guess, interviewing station area with Jesse Ventura, and they're gonna introduce Dino Bravo, who's gonna try to beat the bench press record. And Dino Bravo comes with his manager, Frenchie Martin. Do you remember how I was like, I don't recall who was that guy, Humphrey Bogart or some shit like that?
No, that's an actor, dude. Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Sir Oliver Humperdinck. I was like, I don't remember this guy at all until like I just saw him, and I was like, oh my god, this guy had like been like squeezed out of my memory banks until I just saw him, and
because he was only ever with Dino Bravo.
Yeah, I know, but Frenchie Martin was the same thing. I had totally forgot this guy existed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this guy before. Frenchie Martin, the manager for Dino Bravo. This was a pretty good segment for Jesse Ventura. It showed how versatile Jesse Ventura is. Jesse Ventura is explaining all the bench pressing terms, what a spotter is, and like Jesse's just really good at that.
Mhm.
And they do some warm up stuff, and then they get all the Dino Bravo keeps doing weights, gets higher and higher, and the record he's going to go for is 715 pounds. But as Dino is lifting it up, he struggles. Jesse helps him lift it up, and they go, yeah, he beat the record unofficially. What did you think of this segment?
This just kept going
Oh
and
my god, it's so long,
going
so
and
long.
going. And every time I thought like it's gonna be over, there was another 40 minutes of this fucking segment. This
Yeah,
really, I, Vince always liked to put the Canadians over strong in Canada. Maybe he thought like, people are gonna love this. Dude, Dino Bravo was just the You know how I call Jeff Jarrett stench of failure?
yes, I don't
That's
agree,
Dino
but
Bravo.
yeah,
Nothing about Dino Bravo, and I feel bad because I know the guy got shot, but nothing about him stood out. The only thing about this guy that ever stood out was that he was shot by the fucking mom.
yeah. Why do you feel bad that he got shot?
Why do I feel? Because his family misses him.
Oh, I guess, yeah,
His
yeah.
daughter misses him. I mean, I feel bad for, but like, dude, he got shot. I remember when I was a kid. I went to school. Oh, Dino Bravo got shot, and nobody had a reaction. Nobody was like, "Oh my god!" Like if Hulk Hogan got shot, I think the whole school would have been shut down, right? Or if
Yeah, but
Sting got shot.
they're on two different levels.
But even like, okay, Rick the Model Martel, if he got shot, I think people would have been like really upset.
Once
Nobody had a
again, I think
reaction.
that's two different levels.
Coco Beware.
Dino Bravo is not on the same level as Rick the Model
Coco
Martel.
Beware. I'm talking about overness. Like Dino Bravo was on TV a lot when I was a kid.
I would say Dino Bravo is
You
on
know
the
what it is? It's
same.
like the 10 guy. Tyler, what's his name? Tyler.
Ty Dillinger. Oh wait,
Yeah, Ty
Sean Spears.
Dillinger got
Sean
shot.
Spears. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, the same level as that. Yeah. Do you think if you said Ty Dillinger got shot, people would be having a reaction?
Well, now because they Twitter everyone on Twitter would be in a contest to show who
If there wasn't
stabbed.
Twitter and social media, probably
Uh,
not.
I think if I walked in New York Comedy Club and I said to like some comedian, "Oh, Ty Dillon was shot," they would be like, "Who? Oh, the
If you
10
said
guy."
that at a comedy club, they'll be like, "What are you doing here? You don't work
But you
here."
can't be that. But see, back in the '90s, you can't be that. You could be that more callous about someone dying, being like, "Oh, okay." I think now you have to kind of be a little bit performative, but I think down
Yes. Yeah.
you have to be a little bit like, "Oh no, oh no, I'm so." Oh, I loved it when he went 10. I love.
I did like that when he went 10.
I know.
I did like those 10.
Actually,
This
he's better
segment
than
was
Dino Bravo.
awful.
That's a bad
Yeah.
example.
This segment was awful.
It was awful.
Yeah, I hope never. Dude, Jesse Ventura was like trying his best to make the segment entertaining. Oh, does it ever lead to anything? Like Jesse Ventura like helping him lift the weight? Does it ever lead to
No,
anything? No?
nothing with
Jesus.
Dino Bravo. The only thing that Dino Bravo was good for was introducing the Canadian earthquake.
Oh,
He brings them
yeah.
in, and then Dino Bravo is basically standing alone like he basically becomes Earthquake was supposed to be his henchman, but very quickly he becomes Earthquake's henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earthquake was so good, bro. It's like
He was.
it's the more when I think about how good he was and how like no one ever gave him credit. That's another guy. We'll talk about him when we get to him. He was so good.
We're gonna go to match number 2. It is for the ladies tag team championship. We have the Glamour Girls who are the champions. This is Judy Martin and Leilani Kai who are the tag team champions with their manager Jimmy Hart versus the Jumping Bomb Angels, which is Nario and Izuki.
Oh, Rio from AEW
Yeah, Rio. Yes, Rio is also there. She's
and
actually a phoenix in
Makioto.
one of their yeah,
Makioto.
and Aki Bono. Yes, and this is a 2 out of 3 falls match, so you gotta have at least 2 falls to win. There is a moment in this match in its beginning where Jesse Ventura asks Junior, "Hey, do you know their name?" He totally puts Junior on the spot, and there's like there's like a pause, and Junior knows. No, we'll just call him Red Angel and Pink Angel.
I didn't hear
Red
that.
and Pink. Do you remember that? He goes, we'll call it Red Angel
No.
and Pink Angel. So,
Oh, you know Jesse did that on purpose.
Yeah, he did it on purpose. He 100% did it on purpose. It was fucking great. Judy Martin hits a gut wrench, like overhead face buster on Red Angel. Kind of like Tori. You guys remember Tori from DX? She used to do that where she would fucking throw him over her head. That kind of move on Red Angel to get the first fall. When they start the match again for the second fall, Junior gets his note, so he now knows first names of the Jumping Bomb Angels. It's Norio and Izuki. I think it's Norio Tateno and Izuki Yamazaki, whatever. Anyway, Red is Izuki, and she does a sunset flip cover on Judy Martin. So the Jumping Bomb Angels get the second fall. They show a replay of the sunset flip powerbomb, and it is the worst looking sunset flip powerbomb ever. She misses her. Did you see it? She fucking misses her, and she let go, and Judy Martin has to like go backwards so for her to grab her and fucking it looked stupid. And then the final fall comes when the Jumping Bomb Angels hit a double drop kick on Judy Martin, and Norio covers Judy Martin for the win, but Jesse Ventura points out that when they go for the cover, Norio hooks Judy's arm, so Judy's shoulder is technically, one of her shoulders is technically not on the mat. But either way, the Jumping Bomb Angels actually win the tag titles in this match. What did you think of the second match?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty, for a women's match in the 80s, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, I was not impressed by this match. I would say, I guess for the 80s, yeah, this is fine. But this match it's not, like, if you ask me, is this a match you should watch? I'll be like, no, I don't think you need to watch this match.
No, but, yeah, the jump, like, the one thing about this, because if you asked me like 3 years ago, like Jumping Bomb Angels were like next level. Now watch them was like, no, they were kind of like Britt Baker level.
Yeah, they're not bad, but they're not good. You know,
yeah, just I just think like the women were so bad at working back in the late 80s that they stood out in my memory, but they weren't that good.
I think you make a good point. If I'm looking at this in the 1980s standard of
I'm not judging it by like Sasha Banks and Bailey versus some team. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, if you're looking at this 80s style wrestling women's, this is a good match, but not now. You get Vince McMahon, Jesse Ventura. They recap the Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan thing from WrestleMania, and then the recap includes DiBiase saying he's gonna buy the WWF Championship belt, and then they show you the recap of what happened with Saturday night's main event. Mean Gene Okerlund, he's in the ring for the Hogan and Andre contract signing, and in the ring is also Ted DiBiase, his manservant Virgil, and WWF president Jack Tunney. They're all there. They have a little table and they have two fucking chairs. Hogan sits down. Andre will not fucking sit down. He's just standing there for the longest time. Finally, he sits down and they're about to sign the contracts when Ted DiBiase starts cutting a promo. Andre signs it. Hogan gets a little annoyed. He tries to attack Ted DiBiase and Andre attacks Hogan, flips the table, and the heels leave and everyone keeps plugging. This is going to be the main event for the main event.
Yeah, the show which is the highest, the highest grossing, the most viewed wrestling match of all time.
Yes, on February 5th. The rematch, Hogan versus Andre.
Yes.
What did you think of the segment?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. It very much felt like if they had Raw back then, this is what I think. It felt like a lot of the contract signing segments we see even now. And I thought it was fine. I thought it was DiBiase cut a great promo. It was a great way to set up the match. I thought it was.
This is like the first contract signing I'm seeing from WWF so far, right?
Yeah, I think they did one previous. I can't remember who, but this is the first time they did one in the middle of the ring. They do this like every 2 years following. In ring contract signings, especially. I mean,
people in the audience were really into this. But it's Hogan. Well, it's Hogan.
The Batista and Triple H's contract signing. Remember that? That's like one of the best angles Triple H ever did.
Yeah.
That where Batista turns on Triple H.
Yeah. I think contract signings they're not bad. usually, as segments goes, yeah. But yeah, this was like one of the first ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to match number 3. You know what's so crazy about Royal Rumble? Royal Rumble and the Bunkhouse Stampede, they're very similar in many ways, in like the fact that there's only 4 matches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like like the Bunkhouse Stampede had 4 matches. This has
But
only
the
4
match
matches.
quality here is so much better.
Oh, it's night and day. It's night and day. But do you like, like if you watch the other pay-per-views, they're all like 8 to 12 matches in the show, right?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing about this show is like I'm sure Vince didn't want to have a lot of matches because it's for free, and he's probably like the appeal is. He was very smart. The smart thing about doing this contract signing is you get people to come in to see Hogan and Andre confront each other, but it's not a match. So
Yes.
you're still like getting all the ratings and all the money from the rematch on NBC.
Yes.
But it's almost
yes.
like it was a smart angle to do. But I think he just didn't want to give away too many matches for free.
See, this is the mistake Tony Khan is making. The next week should be a contract signing between El Hijo del Vikingo and Kenny Omega. And then while they're signing, Kenny Omega attacks and flips the table and he goes, "Did I do that?" And then the following week, you have the match. It's simple. That's all you can do. You build it up, right?
No, it's a dream match. You gotta have it right away.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta fucking sign a contract. You gotta build a dream match up.
I've never once heard I've never heard you or Josh Alba or anyone say, I would love to see Kenny Omega fight El Hijo de Pijo.
I actually do want to watch this match, though. This is an actual match.
Well, I was gonna watch it, but everyone on Twitter is so fucking stupid. I'm not watching it. I hope the ratings stink. I hope they go down the toilet.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm still gonna watch it. This is a Triple Mania match for free, so I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna go to match number 3. This is the Royal Rumble match. The difference is a 20-man Royal Rumble match. It's the first ever. So I'm gonna go in the order of appearances. Now I'll do eliminations later. Bret Hart is first with Tito Santana. This is like one of the first times I've ever heard Bret Hart get booed in Canada. Right, because they're in Canada and he's a bad guy.
Yeah, well, back then they didn't play up the Canadian pride. They would just boo you if you were a heel.
Yes, exactly. So it's Bret Hart first, Tito Santana second, Butch Reed is number 3, Jim Neidhart is 4. So if you're keeping score, it is 3 heels on 1 good guy for the beginning. Mm-hmm. Then we get Jake Roberts, number 5, number 6.
And they go nuts for him.
Jake Roberts is so fucking popular. He might have been probably the most popular good guy in the Battle Royal, I think.
In the Royal Rumble, yes.
Yeah, I think he was more popular than Tito Santana. And remember, Tito Santana...
Jake was always more popular.
Yeah, Tito Santana in like the beginning was like one of the top. I think after Hogan, it was like Hogan, Junkyard Dog, and Tito Santana was like a clear third, right? What did you say?
Yeah, Tito now Jake is the third now.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Hogan, by Macho Man, Jake.
Yes. By now, by WrestleMania 1, it's JYD is third, but I mean Tito is third. By now, by Royal Rumble, it's clearly Jake Roberts, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, Harley Race is number 6. Jumpin' Jim Brunzell is 7. Sam Houston is number 8. This is the first time I think I'm seeing Sam Houston in WWF. Dangerous Danny Davis, number 9. Number 10 is Boris Zukov. Number 11 is Don Morocco, who, when he's coming to the ring, Nikolai Volkov is somehow like right behind him, and they're both running to the ring. They fight a little bit, and then like we fight a little bit, and then like Don Morocco goes in, and then Nikolai Volkov has to stand in the outside the ring until he's up and he's number 12 and he goes. And that was so fucking weird, right? When they ran out together. That was very weird. I don't know why they did that. Jim Duggan is 13 and okay, I was actually wrong. Jim Duggan is also before Tito Santana in popularity.
Yeah.
Jim Duggan was super popular too.
Jim Duggan is over too. Yes.
Yeah, super over. Jim Duggan comes in. By the way, while he's coming to the ring, Harley Race has been eliminated. Our Harley Race will not leave. So as soon as Jim comes in, they just him and Harley get into a little bit of a fight, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But then 14 is Ron Bass, 15 is B. Brian Blair, 16 is Hillbilly Jim, who I can make the argument is also more over than Tito Santana at this point.
Basically, everyone's more over than Tito.
17 is Dino Bravo, the weightlifting champion, and 18 is the Ultimate Warrior.
He gets no reaction.
Yeah, but he did get a reaction, not as much as Tito. I will say Tito is still more over than Warrior, but
he's still very new. The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he's very new. He got a reaction, but it wasn't like it wasn't the Ultimate Warrior reaction that I'm used to, right? 19 is One Man Gang, and 20 is Junkyard Dog. And I didn't realize Junkyard Dog was still with the company because
he's with it.
He wasn't in Survivor Series, and I don't think he was at the other pay-per-view either, right?
He was at WrestleMania 3.
He was at WrestleMania 3, but he wasn't in Survivor Series. Why wasn't he at Survivor Series?
He got suspended for a little bit in '87.
Oh, okay. But he comes out, and JYD is still very popular. Not as popular as Duggan or Jake Roberts, but he's still popular. Anyways, here's how the eliminations go. Butch Reed is eliminated first by Jake Roberts. Number 2, Tito Santana is eliminated by both members of the Hart Foundation. Number 3, Zukov is eliminated by Jake Roberts and Jim Brunzell. Number 4, Harley Race. He's eliminated by Don Morocco. Number 5, Brunzell is eliminated by Volkov. Number 6, Anvil is eliminated by Hillbilly Jim. 7, Sam Houston gets on Ron Bass's shoulders, I guess trying to do a victory roll, but it's like in the electric chair position. And fucking Ron Bass dumps him over the fucking ring, over the ropes, and he fucking lands on his face. Mm-hmm. That was the most devastating elimination. They were all like, "This guy hurt." It was a good bump. It was a very good bump, man. Number 8, Bret Hart is eliminated by Don Morocco. That's Don Morocco's second elimination. And then number 9 is Brian Blair. He gets eliminated by One Man Gang. One Man Gang, he comes in at 19 and he just starts cleaning house. 9, Blair is eliminated by One Man Gang. Jake Roberts is eliminated by One Man Gang at number 10. Number 11 is Nikolai Volkov, who gets eliminated by Duggan. Number 12 is Hillbilly Jim. He gets eliminated by One Man Gang as well. Number 13, Dangerous Danny Davis gets eliminated by Jim Duggan. 14, Ultimate Warrior gets eliminated by the team up of One Man Gang and Dino Bravo. And these two guys, when I was watching this, because these guys work together, this could have been a tag team right here.
Yeah.
Number 15, Junkyard Dog gets eliminated by Ron Bass. No reaction for him. Ron Bass gets eliminated at 16 by Don Morocco. Number 17, Don Morocco gets eliminated by One Man Gang and Dino Bravo. So now it is, because the final 4 was Dino Bravo, One Man Gang were the bad guys, and Don Morocco and Jim Duggan. And once Morocco got eliminated, now it's 2 against 1, right? Mm-hmm. And there's double teaming them. And they had double team to eliminate Don Morocco. They tried to double team Jim Duggan, and they fucking fail. And then fucking Dino Bravo gets clotheslined over by One Man Gang, and then One Man Gang gets eliminated by Jim Duggan, who wins the Royal Rumble. What did you think of this match? Any highlights or anything?
When I was younger, I didn't like this match that much. And now rewatching it, so I thought when I was younger, I still feel like they didn't have the kinks worked out. But now rewatching it now, I thought it was a really good Royal Rumble, especially for the first one. It's the first one. I mean, it has a built-in excuse to suck because it's the first one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I heard they did a bunch on the house shows, for 2 or 3 months. They didn't tell you what it was. They just did it to work it out, apparently. But this was really good. It was really good. It was a great showcase of the entire company. It got you. You know what the thing about Royal Rumbles were back in the day? It's this is what the company is. As of right now, these are our guys, our top baby faces, and it gave everyone even a second to shine. And it's and I think it did a lot to get One Man Gang and Hacksaw Jim Duggan over. Because at the end of this, you want to see more of those two guys.
Yeah. Bret Hart was in this match.
And Bret Hart, too.
Bret Hart was in this match the longest. He was in there for 25 minutes. Jesse Ventura can't stop talking about Bret Hart in this match. It's the greatest. He's like,
Dude,
look at, hey McMahon, look at Bret Hart. He's been in there since #1. He's still in there. It was
Grella
great.
Monsoon, it keeps also has, but every time Gorilla keeps putting him over. I'm telling you, they had an idea of what they want to do with Bret way before they did it. I think Vince knew he was going to put a belt on Bret like in '87.
Yeah, yeah. This was I remember you telling me they didn't look like they had the kinks worked out, but when I watched this,
Yeah, I
didn't really see
misremember.
it. I didn't really see it. I thought this was still a very good.
You know what?
Royal Rumble.
I think the problem was I watched this in 1999. No, the year 2000. And at that point, there weren't like a lot of bad Royal Rumbles. And now there's been a lot of bad Royal Rumbles.
There's been a lot of bad Royal Rumbles, yeah.
I mean, especially in recent years. I mean, 2014 and 2015, those two Royal Rumbles are atrocious. And this looks so maybe, yeah, in the year 2000, this was not as good. But now I've had a lot worse Rumbles. I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean, Ron Bass puts me in a coma in NWA. And here he's interesting. They got everybody over. They got all 20 guys. All 20 guys were intriguing in this match.
Here's the thought too. I don't mind a 20-man Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes when it's 30, you get a lot of duds in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like because there's like so much people, like some people who don't get any moment to shine. This 20-man, you think it's too little, but it's like everybody got a moment and everything, and it wasn't bad. I don't mind if they ever went back to a 20-man. I think I'll be.
Well, the problem with the 30-man now is, so when you watch this match, there's only like two guys that you're like, what are they doing in that match? Which is Sam Houston and B. Brian Blair. Jim Brunzell was in it too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so those three guys. You're like, but everyone else, if you went back in time and changed the finish to one-man gang winning, or even like, let's say Butch Reed winning or Bret Hart winning, it's like, it's not like, why would you do that? It's like totally believable. You know what I'm saying? And now they don't get enough guys over. So there's always like 10 guys who walk out in the Royal Rumble. You're like, that guy's definitely not going to win.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I would even say there's like 15 to 20 guys like that now, because when they don't get they only get a certain number of people over now. They don't get everybody over. Back then, everyone in that match is pretty much over.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So we'll see how you feel. The '89 Rumble's pretty interesting. We'll see how you feel about that when we get to it.
Okay, yeah, but so far I liked it. All right, Craig DeGeorge, he is with Hulk Hogan, who cut the promo on Andre the Giant. Standard Hogan promo. We go to our main event, I guess. It is another 2 out of 3 falls match. It is.
I think this was so they could cut the commercial and not lose match.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
We have the Islanders. It is Haku and Tama. For those of you guys who don't know who they are, Haku is Haku, who is also Meng, and Tama is actually Rikishi's twin brother.
Yeah.
And he is the father of MLW's Jacob Fatu right now. That's who Tama is. And if you look at him, he looks just like Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
He used to go by the Tongan Kid and everything. Anyway, the Islanders versus the Young Stallions, who are Jim Powers and Paul Roma. Paul Roma, formerly of the Four Horsemen. Yes.
I remember the Young Stallions wanted Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about
that. Now they're
main
eventing the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. What's really cool about this is that the commentators, like Junior and Jesse, they really do a whole recap about how the Matilda, the British Bulldog's bulldog, got kidnapped, and they put out a reward, and the Islanders were going to get suspended, but they were surprisingly anonymously returned. Matilda was kidnapped and everything, and everyone's expecting that the Islanders did it. So they're talking about this feud that's going to happen. But I like that. But there was no sign of the Bulldogs at all.
No, not on the whole card. No.
Where were the Bulldogs?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Dynamite kills another drug binge. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So the first fall comes when Paul Roma, he gets dumped on the outside by Tama, and he gets counted out, but he's selling his leg. And so after the first fall, they take a break from the match, and they do another recap of Hogan and Andre. And this time, DiBiase, Virgil, and Andre were Craig George. They cut a promo, and then they come back, and the Stallions have come back from the dressing room, and they wrestle another match, and then Tama fucking does a top rope body splash on Paul Roma's left leg. Haku hits a half crab on the leg, and Paul Roma taps out. So the Islanders won 2 falls out of two straight falls, and they win. And that's your final match. What do you think of this match, Islanders versus Young Stallions?
I thought it was horrible.
What a weird dude. What a
no,
weird
it's not okay. So it's not weird if you look back to how the company was. So back then, you know how Saturday Night Live has like the best sketches up front, and then the worst sketches are at the end. Because
someone make the argument some of their sketches at the end are actually better.
It's more experimental because the argument is people are only going to watch the Weekend Update, then they fall asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the last half hour, it's like whatever. That was the philosophy for. Can you hear me?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what time this match.
That was the philosophy behind Saturday Night's Main Event. So Saturday Night's Main Event would always have the best match go first, and the match no one gave a shit about would end. And it wasn't so much the main event; it was just like people are tired. We got to get them right away. And I think he used that philosophy with this show where the weakest match will just go last because everyone's going to watch the Royal Rumble. They're not going to give a shit about anything.
Actually, that makes, now that you explain it, that actually does make more sense why this was the fucking last match, because this was a stinker. Dude, watching this match after the Royal Rumble, I could not get into it. I think maybe I don't know what time this aired, but maybe he's like, well, people have to go to work tomorrow, so they're going to be happy that Hacksaw won, and then they can just tune out after that. Yeah. They saw everyone they needed to see, and then they don't need to watch the last half hour. That was so. This is like something happened, Ray.
Oh my God. Yeah, on me, right?
Yeah, you kept. That was
I know that happened. We're gonna wrap this up soon, but fucking. That's I mean, if you watch those Saturday Night's Main Events, you're if you have the sensibilities of like how Raw is structured and SmackDown structured today, you'd be like, why are these matches last? It's just because he's like, only the hardcores are going to stay up for this, so only they care about Hercules versus Ron Garvin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes
not the main event. It's just the last match.
Yeah, this is on Peacock. This Royal Rumble is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm assuming with commercials, this is probably like a 3-hour show or more.
Yeah. So it was like a Raw. It was like a Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I thought it was, listen, first of all, 2 things. Number one, it's always going to have a place in history. It's the first Royal Rumble. Change that. Number 2, way better than, if you're just comparing it to the Bunkhouse Stampede, I mean, this show was night and fucking day.
Yeah.
And again, people want to go on about the work rate in NWA. Well, NWA had better work rate. Work rate on this show was so much better than the NWA show the same day.
Yes, absolutely.
And Ricky Steamboat and Rick Rude just fucking killed it.
Dude, there was one ref bump, and the ref calls it as a DQ because of the bump, and there's no fucking blood. Do you remember in the Bunkhouse, like half the matches, blood and fucking ref bumps? Stupid.
So I thought this was good, and I also think it was a great way to build to, the biggest match that Vince ever had, if you really think about it, which was Hogan Andre 2, which, so the whole thing was fuck the NWA, and it gets you to watch NBC in a week. And
we should cover that. We should cover that, actually. What? I kind of want to watch that now. Hogan versus
watch it. We're not going to cover it.
That's too bad. We should cover it. Whatever. Overall, I would recommend, if somebody said, hey, should I watch the first Royal Rumble? I would be like, you know what? You can watch the Royal Rumble match. I think that's worth watching, the first one. The rest
I would say watch the event up to the Royal Rumble, then shut it off. There's no reason to watch that Young Stallions match.
Yeah, there isn't. Or I would say even the tag team match. But whatever. Yeah.
I mean, just to see, like, so you can say rah rah women. which
Yeah, so you can say rah rah with it.
I mean, you watch it, so you can be like, "Oh, the women's revolution could have started in '88."
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I thought this was a good show.
yeah, I agree. It was good.
It was way better than I thought, and you know, I always thought like this when I younger. I thought this didn't have a big show feel, but I was wrong. I think it was pretty good.
For something that's airing on TV for free, it's gold.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if this was a fucking episode of Raw? I would be
You know
like,
what?
this is a good Raw.
This is gonna be an episode because we're doing a Royal Rumble with the AAA versus AEW next week of Dynamite. This is a dream match, but I can't. If you don't like this match, you're a troll. I guess there's some more cool. Next week is gonna be when it comes out. The next episode that's gonna be WrestleMania weekend, and that's perfect because we're gonna be covering WrestleMania 4, which is not a good WrestleMania, but we gotta cover it. Then the week after that is the Great American Bash 88. The week after that is SummerSlam 88. And then the week after that is Survivor Series 88.
Excellent. All right.
So, yeah, so it should be fun. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you check me out. My WrestleMania After Show with the Laughs Fan podcast. You can go get tickets for that at thecomedychateau.com. And please follow me on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy. And follow me on Instagram and all that shit at Ray Goots. And Andrew Lee, you'll just follow Andrew around New York City.
Oh, I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, you guys will see me at random places. I'll pop up.
You'll be like, "Hey, bro, I heard you like wrestling." All right, guys, we'll see you next week for the WrestleMania 4.